I never thought I'd fade into a mere specter within my own marriage, a phantom drifting through the home I'd helped build. Yet there I was, standing at the edge of our bed, feeling like a stranger as the woman I adored slipped under the covers without so much as a glance my way. "Not tonight," she whispered, her words cutting, familiar, the 5th rejection this week and the 15th this month. She didn't wait for my reply, simply flicked off the bedside lamp and turned her back, creating a wall I hadn't scaled in years. I stood in the dark, hands clenched, scouring my memories for the last time her touch held meaning. Not just a fleeting gesture, but one that affirmed I was still her partner, still hers. "Good night, Em," I murmured. Only silence responded. I left the room. I didn't slam the door, or lash out in frustration. Instead, I stepped into the quiet of the house, hoping the stillness might soothe the wound her distance had reopened. But silence doesn't heal. It only sharpens the pain you try to bury. My keys rested on the kitchen counter, untouched for days. I grabbed them, craving air, yearning for a space that didn't echo with how unwanted I'd become in my own life. Then her voice cut through, not Emily's but Lena's, her younger sister. "You okay?" she asked, standing barefoot in the hallway, arms folded, wrapped in one of Emily's oversized sweaters that draped loosely over her slender frame. I nodded, though my throat tightened for reasons I couldn't pinpoint. "Just need to clear my head," I said. She tilted her head, her eyes soft with understanding. "What if I told you I see you, right here, right now?" I froze. "What?" I whispered. She stepped closer, her voice gentle but firm. "What if I said I truly see you in this moment?" It wasn't flirtatious or improper, but her words carried a dangerous weight, striking a chord deeper than anything Emily had offered in months. I could have dismissed it, laughed it off, but instead I stood rooted, caught in her gaze, eyes that didn't pass over me, didn't dim with exasperation when I sought connection. "I'm not trying to stir trouble," she said softly. I know what it feels like to be invisible." I swallowed hard, the truth spilling out unfiltered. "I think I've forgotten what it's like to feel wanted." She nodded, offering no more words, and I walked out. I didn't drive far, just pulled over near the old park where Emily and I used to wander in the evenings, back when our walks weren't shrouded in silence, when her hand reached for mine without hesitation, when I didn't feel like a burden she bore. Sitting there, clutching the steering wheel, I replayed Lena's words. "What if I said I see you right now?" She wasn't speaking literally. She meant, what if someone truly noticed you, Jake? Would you let them in? When I returned, the house was quiet again. Emily hadn't noticed I'd been gone, but Lena was in the kitchen, barefoot, making tea. She didn't speak, just handed me a mug and sat beside me at the table. We didn't revisit her earlier words. Their weight lingered in the air. "Was it always like this with her?" she asked after a long pause. "No," I answered. "There used to be laughter, closeness, touch. Now it's just existing." She nodded. "That's not love. That's just fading away slowly." I stared at the steam rising from my mug. "I don't think she hates me," I said. "I think she just forgot how to love me." Lena's voice was barely audible. Maybe she never loved the real you, just the version she wanted back then. I wanted to argue, but a quiet fear whispered she might be right. The next morning unfolded as always. Emily moved through the kitchen as if I were a ghost. Not cruel, not unkind, just indifferent. "Working late again?" I asked. "Probably," she replied, already halfway out the door. She didn't ask about my night, didn't notice the untouched tea on the counter, didn't notice me. That evening, I finally voiced the truth. "I can't recall the last time you looked at me like I mattered." She blinked, startled. "Jake, what's this about?" "It's about every not tonight that's become your default," I said, my voice breaking. "It's about you scrolling through your phone at dinner, about you forgetting my birthday last month." She crossed her arms. "I've been swamped. And I've been patient," I shot back. "But patience just turns into being erased." Her silence screamed louder than any words. She went upstairs without a response. Lena came down later, tentative, quiet. She sat beside me on the couch, her hands clasped tightly, as if protecting something fragile. "Did I break something?" she asked. I shook my head. "No, you just showed me what was already broken." We sat there for a long time, not touching, not holding hands, just two people sharing the burden of a truth too exhausted to remain hidden. Days later, Emily packed her things. She didn't cry or raise her voice, just said, "We've both known this was over for a while." I nodded, because she was right. Lena stayed in the guest room a few more nights before leaving, not out of anger or guilt, but because we both needed space to navigate what came next. Weeks passed, and I began to understand silence without bitterness. I learned to miss someone without resenting them. Then Lena returned. She didn't knock, just stood in the doorway. "I never wanted to take anyone's place," she said. "I just wanted to be the one who reminded you that you're still worth seeing." I looked at her for a long moment before responding. "You did."